John Peterson. This is my second video on living with Poland syndrome. It's a rare birth defect. And in my first video, it dealt with history and surgeries I've had, and also with my range of motion with my hand. This episode is going to deal with growing up and also with relationship issues. Well, you know, if you're a kid and you're different, obviously different than the other kids, I mean, they notice. They really notice. And when I was growing up, I was teased some, and I was very withdrawn. I really did not want to be different than everybody else, and I didn't want to scare people. And so a lot of times I would stick my hand in my pocket, or I'd sit on my hand just so people wouldn't be scared of me. And I remember one time in particular, I think I was about 8 or 9, and we went to the beach and had a rubber raft that I was, playing on the surf on. And there was another kid about my age. He had a rubber raft, and so we started playing together. And I really didn't want him to notice that I was different. And so I'd stick my hand underneath my raft or between my body and the raft. If we were out of the water, I'd have my hand behind my back just so he wouldn't see. And he knew that there was something the matter with me, because I was hiding my hand. And so he took out his hand and he looked at it and said, "Man, look at these freckles I got. Do you have any freckles?" And so I took my left hand out and said, "No, I don't have any freckles here, not at all." And he said, "Well, how about your other hand?" And it was just horrible. And so I took my hand out, and he just saw it and ran. I mean, that's pretty cool, I thought. But anyway, in school, I would hide my hand underneath the desk just so no one would see it. And not only did I have this, but I was like a double whammy for me, because I was a geek too in school. And I was like the last person picked for sports and things like that. And I just hated PE. I remember we were supposed to have like 1 year of PE in high school, and so I just wanted to take the minimum of it and get it done with. And so we started early fall, and so we're doing softball. And so I played outfield, and I played whatever portion of the outfield is the one where hardly anyone hits the ball to, and that's where I wanted to be because no one hit the ball there. And so I'd be out there, and I have this glove on my right hand, which, baseball glove's pretty big with a hand like this. And so if the ball hit the glove, it'd fall right off my hand. And I'd just be out there in the outfield just praying that no one would hit the ball to me. I was just praying that no one would do that. Fortunately, during that freshman year of high school, I had a surgery. I had one of my surgeries. And so I had a doctor's excuse not to participate in the sports part of PE, as to like the health, the book stuff. And but after, I don't know, a month or so, the doctor gave me the go ahead that I could start doing sports again, but I didn't tell the coach that. so I got out of PE for that whole year, except for that very first part. Now, in my junior year of high school, I was taking a typing class. They call it keyboard back in those days, because computers were getting real popular at that time. And I would hide my hand underneath the desk, and I'd try to type with just my left hand. Of course, the instructor didn't like that, and so I figured, I better, if I'm going to do computers, because that's what I was going to do originally, was computer stuff. If I'm going to do computers, I just better, do it, And so I took my hand out, and that's the first step, for people to start noticing things like that. So I got out of high school and I went to college. I started as a computer science major, and after about a semester and a half, I dropped out, and I took 2 years off. I went up to Wisconsin for about 9 months, and I got really, really homesick. So I decided to come back here to Western North Carolina, and I went back to school, and I got a degree. I was going to start working on a degree in anthropology with a minor in Appalachian studies. And so I was trying to soak up everything Appalachian that I could find. And so I got hold of a dulcimer, and I'll show you what a dulcimer is in a later video, so a musical instrument. And I needed a place to learn how to play, and so there were advertisements for a local museum called the Appalachian Culture Museum. And I went there, and they're the executive director there at the museum, and the educational director, like the greatest people I've ever met, because well, especially the educational director, because she sort of got me started both in music and museums, which is like a huge part of my life. And by meeting those two people, it just changed everything about me. And and so I started doing tours, and getting more with the public, and I felt a little more comfortable with people if I was a tour guide, because I felt like I was in control. And the first at the museum, we mostly did tours with school kids, and that was uncomfortable at first. I'd stick my hand in my pocket a lot, but then after a while, I got a little more comfortable, and I'd have my hand out, and and of course the kids ask about it, and basically I just tell them I was born this way, and then I started joking about it after a while too. I said I can pretty much, because by that time I'd been playing music and things like that. And I said, I can pretty much do anything I want to except, count past 9, because I only got 9 fingers. And so I started putting humor into it. And that helped out a lot. But working with in museum work, that really sort of helped me, break out of being so, you know, withdrawn and such like that. And I still tend to be a little withdrawn, I guess, as an adult, but I'm a lot more social than I used to be. I remember one time there was a retired teachers meeting going on in town, and they asked our educational director if she could do a program, because she was a musician, and she couldn't do it. So she said, "Well, I got the perfect person for you," and she told them about me. And so I went to this retired teachers meeting, and I played some tunes and things like that. And I was up in front of the stage in front of 100 people, and it must have been maybe almost half of them were teachers I had in grade school, and they remembered me when I was just very withdrawn. And afterwards, when I was packing up my instruments, they came up to me. They were like, "What the hell happened to you?" Because I was so much different than when I was a student. And so it's just working, getting out in the public, and working with people, and getting started with music and things like that, because um, the people at the Culture Museum, they saw something in me that I couldn't see, and so that was what I really needed in my life at that time. So I'm very indebted to them. Well, as for relationships with adults or dealing with adults, there was one experience I had that sort of really affected me. I was hanging out with this girl, but we didn't have like a serious relationship or anything like that. But we hung out a lot, and then one day she found somebody that she really wanted to have a serious relationship with, and so she called me on the phone, and she said, I really don't want to hang out with you anymore. I found this fella, and then she said, and this, it had to be the meanest thing that anyone's ever said to me. She said, "Don't think I was your friend just because of your hand," and that just, I just couldn't believe someone would say that to someone else. Um, I value friendships a whole lot. Uh, I have probably about 3 or 4 friends who are just almost like family to me, um, and I'd pretty much do anything for them. Um, and I had a therapist once tell me that he'd never seen a male that was so into friendships as I am. guess it's sort of bizarre for a male. I don't know. But a lot of my best friends have never even really asked me about my hand that I can recall, you know. And so, but you know, friendships are a very important part of my life. Um, and then also with adults, when I meet adults, you know, 95% of the time, they're pretty cool. The adults are. Like if I meet somebody, you know, they'll stick their right hand out to shake hands. A small percentage will stick their left hand out, which you know I'm cool with. You know, and most of the time I'll shake with my left hand if that's the case. But if I think they should know better, you know, I'll put my right hand out and shake their left hand with my right hand. But you know, with adults, it's like I, I, I every once in a while I'll see like adults staring at me, which is sort of, I don't know. To me, it seems like a little weird because if you're an adult, you should know that there are people different than you. I mean, than other people, and so you know, adults just know better, you know, than that. Well, I was gonna mention one more thing before I close this video off. Um, Bipolar syndrome not only is my deformed right hand, but I also have a missing pectoral muscle and a rib on my right side. And I think I'm more conscious of my missing rib and pectoral muscle than I am of my hand. I mean, I don't like to go anywhere with my shirt off. And if you look at pictures of me growing up when we're at the beach, I always have a shirt on, you know, because I just feel uneasy with that. And I don't know why my chest would be different from my hand. You think I'd be more conscious about my hand. But I am sort of conscious about my chest. So in closing, what I'm going to do, I'll show you my chest here. So this is I don't have a rib here or a pectoral muscle. So this is Poland syndrome right here. And I'll see you at the next video. But thanks for watching.